I said I was going to do it. I said I was going to go there, though there was a little apprehension. It wasn't like I really wanted to go there. I'm actually a nice guy. I like to review movies that I enjoy, and I like to say why I do that. I try not to upset people. I try to be kind. I try to be kind almost to the point of making myself just want to throw up. I do. That's just who I am. I'm an all-around nice guy. But this movie sucks so bad. Why? We all know the Halloween franchise had already tanked. Once Halloween 4 resurrected the original franchise, it was all over that quick. Besides Halloween H2O, the 7th installment, let's be honest, the rest of them sucked. There was going to be a number 9 to try to possibly, maybe, perhaps, clean things up. But unfortunately, Moustapha Akkad was killed. So there went the franchise. But you can't keep a good horror franchise down, especially when there's money to be made. So, lo and behold, Malik Akkad, Mustafa's son, decided to go there. And with the little help of the pervy Weinstein brothers, the decision was made to make a brand new Halloween. And how about a reboot? Reboot? Oh yeah, it'll be great. Let's do it right this time. Let's bring back the spirit of the original, but with a twist. Let's modernize it. Perfect. Just who could we get to make this version more modern, more edgy, even better than the original? Out of 2 gazillion directors out there, just who could that be? Rob Zombie. Oh yeah, Rob Zombie. He's an artist. No, there's no one better. Perfect. And not only that, we'll have him write it too. Fuck! Okay, I'm going to assume that you've seen the original. So when we're talking story of this version, nothing much really changes from Halloween of yesteryear, especially after the first act. The first act of this thing is basically the reason Michael Myers becomes Michael Myers. No need for any ambiguity here. This is art. Rob Zombie art. Let's show them why. That's what the producers say. Man, even talking about this makes me want to shower. It doesn't take you over 5 minutes into this movie to want these characters dead. And that wasn't fast enough. Now once the second act starts pulling you out of that sewer, it works its way through Laurie, her friends, and some similar situations to the original. However, don't let that fool you into thinking that something good will emerge. Remember, this is Rob Zombie. And depending which version you are watching, the theatrical or the director's cut, things start changing between the two. One is the evolution of Michael in Smith's Grove when he was a kid. There was more narrative in the director's cut, which you really didn't need. Art is cool. However, the big difference is with Michael's escape from Smith's Grove. The theatrical version has Michael escaping by completely fucking up some guards and busting out. That's Michael Myers right there. Now, that should be the preferred method. The director's cut, the zombie apocalypse, which I like to call it, has Michael escaping after a guard and his buddy rape a woman in Michael's room. Yeah, let me say that again. Rape a woman.
Hi there, sweetie. Hi. Huh? Oh, we're just here to look in on you. We know it's your first night and all. We just want to see how you are. Oh.
Yeah, it'd probably be the best if I didn't show you that whole scene. The third act resumes reminiscent of the original, but adding shaky camera work and a few different scenarios to attempt to make it more thrilling, I guess. But then it ends with Laurie shooting Michael in the face. Ta-da! Fin, the end. For a dude that was hired for his edginess, the only edginess is the shaky camera work. Zombies videos are even more edgy than this mess. And this is a reboot. Now I get reboot. This series did die a slow, miserable death. But why the holy shitbag should a perfectly good classic be, let's say, reimagined? That's how they put it. A reimagination of the classic Halloween. For God's sake, don't reimagine this movie. Give this a different story. Expand, subtract, change the narrative from how they ruined it with 5 and 6, if you're going to go in that direction, or change how they completely shoved this shit show down the shitter with Resurrection. There are a million ideas out there. Halloween 2018 is a great example. But no, they had to do a complete reimagination of a fucking classic. Rob Zombie will put a modern twist on the classic Halloween. Yeah, he certainly did. And hey, what the hell time period or even decade was this film supposed to be in anyway? Does anyone know? The hair and wardrobe looked like it was pulled from a 70s Salvation Army store. We kind of already talked about this in the take, but Zombie's great idea was to get a little bit more creative and turn the narrative towards more of a Michael point of view and his reasons for being who he is. Wow, that worked well. It actually turned Michael from pretty much an enigma, a force, to a white trash serial killer you actually sympathize with. Zombie also tried to implement some sadness into the story with Michael's mother killing herself, the Strode parents losing their lives, as well as Michael bending the knee to Laurie before that final chase scene. However, this introspective seemed to be written in vain to show some kind of depth.
Art, you gotta love it.
But it was highly overshadowed by the over-conceptualized narrative, sewage dialogue, ridiculous character development that was sprayed all over us through every other part of this movie. Let's talk about that now. Zombie, just as John Carpenter, likes to use the same characters in almost all of his movies. In Zombie's case, especially his wife. Now, Zombie also added some pretty decent players in this movie as well. Dee Wallace, Brad Dourif, and Danny Trejo, to name a few. But these actors are done a disservice by Zombie by making them one-dimensional and giving them the most shit dialogue he could muster.
Maybe I'll choke the chicken, purge my snorkel all over them flappy ass tits.
What'd you do to him? Stroke him to death?
Why don't we just rocket commando, flash some snatch?
Let me introduce myself. I'm Joe Grizzly, bitch.
Don't you give me that book!
Man, that bitch got herself a nice little dumper.
Zombie basically turned almost all of his characters into people you just don't like. He did the cameo thing with Danielle Harris, but you end up hating her too. Scout Taylor Compton? Yep, 3 names there. As Laurie Strode? Not so much. She just wasn't that good at portraying that iconic character. But should I blame her completely? No. Once again, it's how she was written. It was all wrong. Now, Christina Klebe was naturally over the top as Linda. Why not? Besides saying the word totally, she didn't work very well. There was no happy-go-lucky, which should have been her forte. It was all just basically her being a bitch.
What the fuck are you two bitches laughing at? You think it's funny?
Okay.
Oh, hi. Oh, sorry. Oops.
Now, you would think that with all the shape-shifting, get it? Shape-shifting? Shape. Of most all the memorable characters from the first film, they would at least get Loomis right. Right? Right? Zombie did get kind of a big deal in Malcolm McDowell to be the iconic character of this entire franchise. Malcolm definitely has the skills. But depending on which version you watch, is the version of Loomis that you get. Since most people have watched the director's cut more than the theatrical version by now, they probably got more of the asshole Loomis. Just like most other characters in this movie, Loomis was over the top and one-dimensional. Though he tried to be likable, Zombie just wouldn't let him get completely there.
These are the eyes of a psychopath.
Now to finish this segment out, because I'm starting to even get more depressed, I'm probably one of the few that actually think that Sherry Moon Zombie's, Rob Zombie's wife, her performance was actually pretty good in my view. I think that she had enough emotional content and believability to carry out her character. My God, they needed somebody.
Are you saying Michael did this? Michael loves animals. Why would he do this?
Okay, no, I wasn't going to forget about Michael. So let's talk about Michael. Dag? Not so sure about him. He was Zombie's vision in this version. I thought he was just a little wussy boy the kid deserved to be picked on. Didn't like him.
I'm not listening!
Then there's Tyler Mane, who played the adult Michael. I've actually met him a couple times. Great guy, and he loves the character. However, one of the appealing things about the original Halloween was Michael was just a regular-sized guy that was considered almost supernatural. That made him a little bit more frightening in my opinion. Tyler Mane is a freaking giant. He's more of a Jason kind of a guy. He just cannot capture the essence of Michael Myers in terms of movement, grace, and style. Like so many others in this movie, he was just miscast. I have to say, with all honesty, the overall production was not too bad. There was a lot of thought when it came to lighting, color scheme, and even the soundtrack, creating some mood here and there. The shakiness of the camera was just a touch much. Anyone with a seizure disorder would have been flopping all around the place after watching that shit. This was an attempt to add tension where he couldn't manufacture it anywhere else, probably. But honestly, the tension was sitting through it. Did I mention art is cool? However, there were some good elements. And like I said, mostly the color and the lighting. The story didn't add to that at all. The decent production cannot help that the story and the dialogue sucked so bad, ruining it. It's like trying to stop diarrhea with dental floss. Okay, let's be honest. This movie is what Rob Zombie looks like. Heavy metal white trash. The basic plot is based on the original movie, so Zombie didn't have much to do as not to ruin it, so why did he? I think he got too cocky and tried to push the boundaries that shouldn't be pushed, especially for a movie like this. And by doing that, he took away all the suspense and everything else that made Halloween a classic in the first place. Now I understand reboots are reboots, but that is where it should have gone. Not a reimagining. Oh, they promoted this movie as Rob Zombie reimagining the classic Halloween. Like he was some kind of Spielberg or something. Well, not so much. This movie was just a big pile of steaming shit. Zombie flat out ruined a story that had the perfect horror blueprint. He then overcooked most of his characters with over-the-top performances and terrible dialogue. Also, he put a freaking rape scene in this movie. Halloween isn't torture porn. You know, with that particular scene purposely resurrected for the director's cut, there really isn't anything more to say about Rob Zombie that this particular scene hasn't already. Now, I can give props only to the production department, really. It tried, but there was not enough production element in the world to save this thing. However, in the end, it did go on to make a lot of money. Yeah, I did it again. But not because of its content. The fans wanted to see a Halloween movie. They were starved for one. What did they get? Well, not a Halloween movie. Maybe a cheap movie that was set on Halloween, with a familiar theme of a great movie they have watched in the past, maybe? But that was it. And because it made money, Zombie even got a sequel out of it with full artistic license. Look how that turned out. Just think if there was no one there to put the brakes on this one. Fuck it. Yeah, Rob Zombie wanted to reimagine the classic Halloween. He certainly did. And it was certainly bad. Hey, thanks for watching this take of the Quick Take, and I hope you subscribe. I hope you hit that little button, that little bell thing, and I hope you like it. Tell your friends, share it on Facebook, share it on YouTube. Let's get more people on this channel. I don't want to buy them. Thanks. See you later.
Bitch, I will crawl over there and I will skull fuck the shit out of you!
Shit, I'm all broken up here, bitch. I can't work.